This is the Eclectic Discussion Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for downloading and streaming the EDP. I'm Eclectic. I'm the E of the EDP. Listen, 80s, growing up, candy. Ferrara Pan Candy. So it was the 70s when these dropped, but I don't know from 70s. The 80s, we only knew the company because, like everything back then, we'd read the box and the covers, and they all seemed to have a thing. They look cool. They were recognizable boxes. The Ferrara Pan Candies, they were 10 cents a box. Now, I'm going to rank 10. Listen. Here's the thing about these candies. After you ate the candies, you blew in the box and it was like a whistle. Oh man, it was incredible. It was a great time. Anyway, look, so I'm gonna rank the top 10 Ferrara Pan candies. The company eventually bought some other stuff, but we're talking Ferrara Pan proper prime. We're gonna start at 10. We're going to 1. Number 10, Mr. Melon. Mr. Melon, red box with the smiling watermelon. I'm pretty sure that's not a problem now. But they weren't as popular. So they were they taste like they were watermelon flavored, just candies. They weren't chewy, but if you worked with them long enough, they got chewy. They weren't everywhere, but they were dope. 9. Jawbusters. So the Jawbusters was the Jawbreakers. They were mini Jawbreakers. It was in a green box, had little candies on them, and so when they dissolved, they changed colors and the flavor, and so each one of them had 5 layers. So they would get smaller, but it would be a different flavor and a different color. So you just take it out and be like, look, mine just turned green. It tastes pretty good. Joe Busters, pretty fucking good. Number 8, Fruit Cocktail Imperials. Oh, yeah. They had the martini glass on the box. They were good, but the thing about the Fruit Cocktail Imperials is, one, because it had the glass on the thing, it made you feel like it's a cocktail. It made you think like you were fancy, even though you were 5. They didn't taste like anything. Like they were basically if the Jaw Busters were all one flavor, but they had so every flavor of them, they were there, but they didn't do the dissolve thing, and they weren't as hard as the Jaw Busters. 7. The Atomic Fireball. Now these were the individual joints, but they were in a box. They were in a box. It was yellow with red writing, and then they changed them to make them bigger and sell them in the little plastic things when you sell them by themselves. But I'm not talking about the individual ones. These were in the box. They were like hot Lemonheads. It was they were round, cinnamon. So I was crazy for anything cinnamon back then. So really good. Then the inside of them were white, and that's when they got sweet. So they were really hot, and then they got sweet. The Atomic Fireballs. That's the 7th one. 6 is Cherry Clans. The original box with the original racist box with the Asian eyes. They were called Cherry Clans. And then they changed them to Cherry Chan, which I don't think that was even better. I don't think that made it. But see, back then they just, the Cherry Clans and then Cherry Chans. Either way, they were great. Sour cherry, the red joints. They eventually turned those into what I guess people now know as Cherry Heads. But those are great. Look up that old box though, the original box. We didn't think nothing of it, but things happen. Number 5, Alexander the Grape. Alexander the Great was the white and the blue box with the purple grape head dude with the helmet. Grape candy inside was white. That's when it got sweet, so it was like sour grape and then sweet on the inside. That is what I think are now grape heads. Everything is heads now, but back then, Alexander the Grape, Cherry Clan. Number 4. Number 4 is Johnny Apple Treats. That was the yellow box with the red apple head guy and the green seeds. Those was dope. The sour apple joints, and I guess these turned into the apple heads. Everything's heads. So now we had the top 3. Top 3, Ferrara Pan Candies, Whistle Box exclusives, the 80s candies. Number 3. I know a lot of people don't like these, but I don't care. Boston baked beans, so good. They had no business being good. This red box with the brick pattern and the thing of beans on the side. They're sugar coated peanuts. No business being good. We were introduced to sweet and savory at a very young age, but they had no business being that good. But I love Boston baked beans. Oh, especially when they get the right temperature and they're chewy. Hey, number 3. Now, number 3, they could have been number 2, but personally, number 2 were Red Hots. Red Hots, they were the thinner, like the Atomic Fireballs. They were thinner than those, and they were chewy. It was cinnamon flavored candy, and they were hotter than I think they were hotter than the Atomic Fireballs. Maybe it's because you ate a lot of them. Because I used to crush Red Hots. Red Hots is wonderful. I just couldn't put anything above. And when you saw what this show was about, when you knew I was gonna rank them, you know what number 1 is. So I couldn't consciously put Boston baked beans and Red Hots over number 1, which is Lemonheads.
Oh my God!
When we were introduced to Lemonheads, the classic, the white box with the blue and the little lemon head guy. Oh man, yeah. So man, when they got to the right temperature and those got, oh man, Lemonheads is great. Then the little white sugar core, they're so good. They renamed everything else to be the heads, the apple heads, the grape heads, the chewy lemon heads, all the friends of the heads, because the lemon heads are so dope and so iconic. They renamed everything. But back then, again, 10 cents a box. They don't, and what we got now, all the heads, they don't taste as good as I think they probably had crack in them or something. I don't know. But back then, the fruit cocktail Imperials and the cherry clans, all of those, oh man, it was a time. And if anyone who's listening to this was outside back then, in your short shorts and the long socks, you know the vibe, making the whistles. But I just want to, I thought about cherry clans the other day, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a show about these candies. Specifically these in the little rectangular boxes that we crushed when I was little. So that's what it is. If you remember, Eclectic Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, let me know. I am Eclectic, YouTube. Hit me up. And also, I'm not gonna do a Chico Stick show, but if you have some suggestions, hit me up. I might do it. And in the meantime, in between time, appreciation.
And with your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover.